IS zoning, all that stuff, what kind of questions you guys have or concerns, we'd be really willing to listen to you.
And I want Robin to write down more money you can take.
More money. You can tell him that directly.
Well, 3 months ago, it was looking pretty. Township and counties would have taken a hit based on 3 months ago. Now, of course, the revenue picture. We were,
Change again, in Prairie dog buckets, I monitor them, and I monitor them not only for right now, I monitor them from where they were 2 years ago to now. A couple months ago, we were $270 million behind the pace we were at 2 years ago. That's $250 million. So, yeah.
it was projected we were going to be 900 million short. Now, the latest, we just met yesterday. Now it's looking a whole lot better, but, you know, the governor's also said he wants to shave $1 billion. Not sure.
Probably just another year's salary.
Yeah, that'll cover a lot of it. You know, if you stop and look, you got our biggest budgets are transportation, education, and health and human services. Most of health and human services are entitlements, so you can't. So I don't know if what his plans are. I haven't seen it, but certainly the picture looks better.
We're not out of the woods yet, though, and we could go into a slump here that could go for 5, 6, 10 years, and who knows then what happens.
Anybody else have any questions?
Aren't there some ways to cut in the county? Cut some expenses?
Without cutting services, it's pretty hard, pretty much.
I was reading last night that any township or county that has a population of $6,000 or less can combine some of the offices at the post office.
That discussion's been, we have people who are retiring in that discussion. In fact, we've already done that. The assistant auditor retired, he took over the wards.
Well, that would have like the clerk of court and the recorder can be combined into one. And if you can't find anybody to do it, they send the county auditor and now they'll give you the time.
That's a load of golden leg. I am staffing my office by myself. Okay, we've got another retirement coming up here in the next 4 or 5 months that will likely lead to another office. So we are actively engaged in downsizing within the county, and it's because I am kind of a financial guy, so but they're not being replaced.
Yes.
And being a little bit of a financial kind of guy, I can see the writing on the wall here, actually. And it is, now not for everybody else in Wells County, but I can raise my hand and say, yes, this is painful. When I retired from the school, it was because I didn't want to work 15, 16-hour days anymore. And I have a feeling I'm going to end up back doing exactly that.
The problem is, the only work is the same, if not more. So,
How can you say that with less people?
Because our services are not provided on a per-person basis. Okay, we still have 36 townships, we still have 7 cities, we've got 5 school districts, you still have to provide the exact same services that you did before, regardless of how many human beings that are here. So we are trying to address that. We're trying to be as proactive as we can possibly be. I will tell you the clerk of court's staffing is partially funded by the state of North Dakota. As long as the state of North Dakota is willing to do that, we have to be mindful of providing the service that they expect. And that also means that they can take our clerk of court and she can all of a sudden start covering Stutzman County because they don't have somebody right now. So there are a lot more moving parts than the person thinks, but we are trying to address this.
The city of Harvey has kept the court system, the clerk of court, like busy. Well, it's not city, but because of what happened in Harvey, there's been a lot of court cases, and there's an awful lot of backlog and stuff. And it looks like, your idea is good, but the problem is so much more regulation, it's hard to keep up with it. It's part of the problem. It's just, that's, well, think about it. You guys are all farmers. I was a farmer young. I'd go to the, at that time I was living in Sheridan County, I'd go down there, sign up, get a check the same day I walked out. Nowadays that don't work. You gotta do all a lot of other stuff before that happens. I just filled them out, and they had the girls there, and they got all the computers now, and it still takes long. So I mean, there's a lot of different things that happen here. I did not know a lot of this when I came on, and I was like, you guys are going, well, why can't we do it this way? Why can't you do it that way? Well, you go hang around there, and you see all the stuff that happens on a daily basis at the courthouse, and people walk in and do all the different things. It'll wake you up. And I know you've been around, I know you've seen a lot of it, but I was very surprised. Very surprised.
One thing where the population makes a big difference in the site is there's from, I don't know how many years ago till now, it's about 1/3 of the population of Wells County, they're paying the bill. Yes.
I was just circling back to the, you know, the cost being so prohibitive. I don't see how the government is having it, but do you do a census which has the most traffic?
Yeah.
And what gets repaired?
Yeah.
In 2 years.
We, I don't know, every so many years, but we have engineers that cost us way too much money, but they check all of these roads, of course, and give us a priority list of which needs the most work sooner than the other. But
And traffic counts are part of it.
92 or plus miles of pavement is killing us.
The state puts traffic counters out every 2 years. Yeah, but the problem is there's, you know, they do it all over. They may be only there a week or two, and then they move them on. But then the engineers get the reports, and so we know which of our highways. They even put them on some county gravel roads this year, or last fall.
They check the conditions and do all that stuff. Like was mentioned earlier, some of these paved roads have no base to them, where they're just put over, almost over flat dirt. The traffic and the weight nowadays just can't handle it. Nobody wants to lose a paved road. Half of them should be ground up. Good driving.
They've been all right if they kept them sealed. When's the last time they were sealed?
That wouldn't even make a difference at all.
It would have. They haven't been sealed in years.
We chip seal about every 7 years.
The weight, the traffic, the equipment, that's.
The other day I noticed trucks going west of Bethesda, trying to avoid the IS 52.
Going less than.
That could be
Why
the
don't
one.
you guys go after the state and say, hey, we want some state money on this?
That could be the trucks going to the lagoon, they're all in play.
They're all long.
There's 2 trucks.
These were pass-through trucks.
Okay.
Gas.
And they would be, if they're over 80, then they're violating the law.
What he's saying is,
They're
what
tandems.
for some reimbursement for busting up a county road.
Yeah, when all this got done here, the count, you guys ended up with money when they rerouted traffic through the townships.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why is it only the trucks that aren't farm related that you're concerned about?
Because we pay taxes.
Yeah, and so if a truck gets to the junction of 15 and 52 and goes west on 52 and they're over 80,
That was my question.
They're not over 80. These are pass-through trucks. I know the difference.
see, they can be 105 on 52, right? And they probably are.
Now I was driving 55. I never got those 2 trucks. They
I
knew
know,
exactly what
I
they
see
were
them.
doing.
I see
So,
them.
okay, so how come this is happening? They could come over to 3 and shoot straight up if they want.
I know they could, but
How do we stop
You requested to the state. When did you do that?
Detours then. They're doing that over in Foster County for this pipeline crap, a lot of detour. And that's just for gravel roads and this pipeline there, we're actually fixing gravel roads over there.
And I don't often take 52 from Pheasant and Harvey right now because of the construction there, right? But when I do, I end up behind a car with a mile of cars, or most trucks behind me. Yeah, road they're supposed to be on, because that one is the one that's built for those trucks. But I don't think we can stand out there and say, no, you're not coming down this
These
road.
trucks come from all over the country, how do you,
I would say, all they gotta do is look at the goddamn phone, Google,
Well, they-
whatever.
Detour down, down the detour.
There's no detour, okay? What you're forgetting is there's a pilot car
I'm
behind
telling you
that
guys
car.
to ask the state to put detour signs down there so they're not freaking jumping off on a county blacktop.
When a project like that is engineered out and it's bid, okay? You want to, so a guy bids 25 million and this is the specs for the bid, okay? Which we don't know anything about these state highway bids. We're not any part of it, okay? And then so then they bid it out and they have no detour, they're gonna run pilot cars through, correct? Okay. There's no detour signs out there. You ask the state that no matter what, if people try to jump around your state highway to our highway, we want detour down to 30 or down to 200 and all the way around. Even if there's a detour, do you think those trucks?
These trucks came from the south. I'm not talking about Highway 30 and shooting straight across. These trucks came from south of Pheasant, hooked their blinkers and turned west.
On 052.
That's right.
You know why they did it? To avoid the pilot cars.
That's right. So why should they be allowed to even get off onto a county blacktop? It's not a water under road issue.
If they're 80,000, why can't they?
And that is the law. So
That's the
if-
law.
If they're over 80
80.
and they turn and go west there, they're breaking the law. Now, we don't have somebody standing up there to control that either, but you'd like to think at some point in time, truck regulatory would make its way around the world side.
The weight limit on that highway is 40 tons. Okay?
And speed limit is what?
40.
I just told you.
Well, how does that affect the road department? I can't give a ticket.
I wasn't directing it to you.
But it's something that's a concern to all of us, because, you know, we're all paying for that here, right?
Right.
So I absolutely agree with you, but it's
Move
also,
the pilot car.
what's that?
Move the pilot car back to the,
I don't think nail construction would do
You know,
that.
we've talked about that, and really what they're probably could have done is put a sign up, call it Golden Light, this road, reverse field there,
Detour sign.
but that's the state, state's not even gonna listen to what we say, that's all state highway.
No, they're not.
They can care less what you say.
Listen, when they work on a state highway, they don't give anything. They don't care about township gravel. You guys know that as township guys. That's why you guys have to try to set up all road agreements and everything else when they're pulling product out of your bid, right?
And if you want to haul heavy on a state highway, you can request it through load pass, and the pittance that you pay for that permit ain't gonna pay for that highway either, so that's just the system that we have.
bucks now.
If you ask me what's detour sign, not much, you can call the state and.
So anybody got anything else?
They do listen.
Is the county on the low pass?
Yes. Yeah, we have been for a long time.
So did Fishers, when they brought all that equipment in?
Would you like to see my phone?
Yes.
38 load passes. I signed as they brought that equipment in before the restrictions came on. They're done. I signed 13 yesterday to get out.
Okay.
And I'll probably sign 30 more by the time they get all the equipment.
And so-
Absolutely they did.
So Mayo wanted to haul heavy on county roads that they were pulling out. So they take state highway on their load and come back on county. So we are doing what we can. but-
They wanted us to increase the weight limit on our highways for them only, and we told them no. We're doing everything we can.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, it's frustrating to watch.
Yeah. Well, or at least have the sheriff patrol it or something.
You know, I'm not agreeing with, County Patrol, which they are supposed to do our truck regulatory. Once in a while, we have no idea when they show up, whatever. It's such a hit and miss deal.
We requested every spring, every fall. If we get a week. And they said, we'll try, and I never know when they're there or when they're coming, I don't want to.
It's kind of funny, this 6-county deal we're in, talked about the 6 counties getting together and getting scales and hiring somebody to do it, but no county wants to pick their own guys up. You don't want to pick the neighbor. So that's kind of hanging there.
Okay, back to the blades though. Did you guys take miles back away from Doug?
Excuse me?
Well, when he didn't have to wait down by us, you guys gave him more miles to the north.
Well, it happened a week ago, we're already working on trying to give him more miles to take the slack off other guys, yeah. But I mean, it happened a week ago. So he's gonna work further to the north and probably further into Bucky's area and get further away from, because he just lost 32 or whatever miles it is I have in here. So we don't want Doug to have 135 miles when the other guys are running 170 to 180. So we'll have to regroup and move him further away from Hertzfield and take some of the slack off other guys. And that will be done. In fact, we've already talked about it.
For the $100, where are we getting? Some of the roads he just covered the first time, which he did a good job. I thought I haven't seen the road that wide before, but there's a 2-foot bridge.
So we were just out there. I mean, here's the
We
thing.
just drove on, that's one of the better roads in all.
So those,
Which
you're
road
talking
is
about
that?
Chase Lake,
Yeah.
Yeah.
those 2 miles, that was paved. There's 4 foot of road missing right now. If we'd have got an inch of rain, that water would have been held halfway across the road. That road, the water doesn't soak away, because that's hard under there. We like that.
Were you on the road last Wednesday?
I've been on that road every day.
I was on the road last Wednesday after 60 hundredths of rain. With 70 years of blade guys in my pickup. We drove 60 miles an hour down it, and there was not one water puddle on it.
Hey, look, it's sturdy on that road.
But what we,
Thank God the sheriff wasn't there.
for 2 years, Guck Miller Constructions man bladed that road. He never left the swath. He brought it in and he crowned that road. That road prior to that was flat as a board, and he put a crown on it. We do not want a swath. There's no reason for a swath on that road. Feather it in, and the traffic pounds it back out. We don't need a swath. The road's 4 feet narrower than it needs to be right now. You guys drove it today. The damn swath's in this far. We don't need a swath on it. Feather it in.
Why do you, what, have you measured the width of the road?
The road's there. Machinery goes down that road with triples on it and stuff. Why not use the road? It's there.
Number one, the road was flat as you know what this spring. When we were out there.
It's at it. No.
Wrong.
It's at a
Wrong.
crown.
You asked us to pull the
All
shoulders.
Yes.
That's right.
That's exactly what we did, Corey.
Yes,
That
you
road was
pulled one
done.
side and brought it across.
And
But
then we
it was
pulled the
not
other.
allowed.
A week ago.
Yeah,
It was not.
you know,
It's almost July, but
you bet. And we started blading at the beginning of May, and your road agreement says once a month. We spent 2 days pulling one side of 9 miles.
so what if we pull the shoulders up immediately, so it's done and over with instead of
So
having?
you count more than, your 9 miles counts more than everybody of these other townships in here because you want it done?
No, everybody, because it's at hazard right now. How am I supposed to cut these roads? How is he supposed to cut his roads?
I'll tell
We
you what,
have,
we're in agreement, Kyle, that we cannot blade your roads and we do not have to.
we have,
Find somebody to do it better. That's the way I feel.
We just don't want a swath.
Okay,
It was
we
great.
have somebody else to maintain it?
What's that?
I'm asking the commissioners, is that what they want? They want us to hire somebody else to maintain our roads?
we're too much, let's stay civil here.
What do you guys want? You don't want any swap on the shore?
On those 2 miles that were paved, there's no reason for a swath. It can be feathered in on both sides. If he has to make a 3rd trip down it, we paved 2 extra miles, I guess.
So, I mean, that road is like one of the widest ones I've seen in the
It was
county.
paved at one time.
I know, but
Same as north, and I just drove
I'm
both those
just
miles.
saying if that's swath is off the side of the grass there, 3-4 feet, you still got more road than any road in the.
You guys drove it, the gravel's all on the outside of the swath laying in there.
Yeah, hey, we want your road to be a good road.
There's no reason for a swath.
You cannot do a shoulder pull and think that you're gonna not have a swath for the first couple months. And by the way, a swath, that's not a big window.
That thing will be gone in the fall.
Would be gone in a month. It's half the size it was a month ago.
There's always, he's always had a swath. Doug Miller's guy, he never had a swath. All that year he laid it, or 2 years in a row he laid it. There was no swath. And that road was crowned beautifully. And it still has that crown, we don't want to lose it.
How are your shoulders?
They were good. He did it. It was slow.
So why would we ask to come in this spring and pull the shoulders?
Because
Because it never happened.
they were all
It didn't happen until like the end of May.
Because they were all.
You do realize that we didn't start blading till the first week away. May, you do understand that, right?
I'm not complaining about the shoulder work done.
And Corey, you do remember me telling you, tell me when you want dugout. I'd have had him there a week and a half earlier and I waited for you to call me.
That was,
The first time, correct?
yes.
I told you, you tell me what day you want him there and I'll have him there, and you said, let's wait a week or so, there was still frost on the ground. You remember that conversation? And when you called me, was he there the next day? Okay. So I don't want to hear that he didn't get there till the end of May.
It was the end of May.
That's when Corey called me and told me to have him come.
I don't know.
It wasn't the end of May.
So, what I'm reading anyway, do you guys still have the maps of the actual, whatever the township miles are?
I have it here.
Are they the same, are they updated or are they some very?
I think I'm a mile off from your other miles. I was looking at that earlier.
So anyway, anybody got anything else?
I have one thing.
Yes.
On the shoulders being pulled in, we've done, 8-9 miles, I think now.
Yeah.
And we did a nice job. We pulled them in. It looks really good. Would it help if we went out and killed the grass? Because I noticed what happened is you get the grass that's all growing where he pulls the shoulder out, and then he seems to not want to wait there. Because I know what it does. It pulls up roots and it pulls up grass. Is there
So you're
something
talking on the down slope?
you know,
If you kill
kill
the grass,
3 feet of grass?
what's it gonna be replaced with? That's the question.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Would it help?
I think, Mark, are you referring, I mean, there's, on some of our gravel roads, there's this much grass, that used to be gravel. Underneath that grass is gravel. That's what we probably should be killing.
Yeah, yes, I'm not killing
Like,
the grass, but you know, right next to the windrow,
Whether it's already pulled, it probably won't get it.
so we don't dare kill
Well,
anything.
I wouldn't say.
Were you happy with how he pulled?
We were, yes. Yes, what we did, but what happened was, is we go south of town, Brian and I talked about it today. It got pulled, it was beautiful, but now it's flattened out again. You know, it just, he didn't keep bringing it up as he maybe should, or leaving it in the middle. And is it because of the grass? I don't know. You know, whatever we can do to help, we want
No,
to.
I appreciate it. I mean, the blade guys spent basically in the spring, and I'll take a minute to explain. In the spring, when we got out there in the first part of May, that's when we wanted full shoulder, because the grass, you don't have the heat,